is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Siphon.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Tennessee Liquid. This is part 2 of my BatGirl build. And as you can see, sitting beside me is BatGirl from 1966. Now, this is a quarter scale model. This is the largest one I have ever tried to print and paint, and boy, it was fun. I had some issues at the beginning, as you could see in part 1, but it turned out for the best. And hopefully you can get a little bit out of that video to help you on your way. So without further ado, let's jump on into that video.
I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Siphon. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to My Custom Models for the design of this awesome print. This is a Patreon over on the Patreon page, and if you like what you see here, go check them out. For as low as $6.75 a month, you can get a 6-character welcome pack at a quarter scale, which are giant. And for that, you get 2 fully sized sculpts each month. So if you're liking what you're seeing, go check them out over on the Patreon page. Jumping in on the model, the base on this model was relatively pretty simple. So I just took some masking tape of different thicknesses and masked off. It had 2 gold stripes around the base. It had one about midways and one at the top. So I just taped them off and took this gold marker that I've used in some of my previous models. Now these markers are pretty cool. They are a enamel paint, so you'll have to just be careful and not get it on stuff. But this stuff, when it dries, is really super shiny. Moving on to her cape. Her cape needed to be yellow. And I'm going to show you a really neat trick for painting stuff yellow. It seems a little odd, and when I first done it, it seemed odd to me. And it's still odd, but it works. So if you're going to paint something yellow, you can take pink, just any color pink, and outline anywhere you think the shadow should be of your part. Because when you spray the yellow over it, and you want to make sure you use a yellow ink, by the way, and when you spray that over this pink, it just magically somehow becomes orange, because the pink and the yellow go together and make an orange, which gives you a undertone for a shadow. And see, once you get it sprayed, Ain't that weird how it just blends together? But it looks cool and it works. Moving on to the emblem that is attached to the top of her base. It was supposed to all be one color. It was supposed to be gold. And I got to looking at videos and pictures of the old BatGirl from 1966. And she had this emblem on her. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this a little bit harder on me. So I decided to tape it up and mask it off and cut the emblem out with the BatGirl logo. I taped it up and painted it black. And then I went around it with a white paint marker. And then after that, I done the 66 with the gold marker that I had used previously in the video. Now I set all that aside and started to paint the body. Now her body in the videos, in the pictures back in 1966, her suit was kind of shiny, kind of like it was a glittery look. So if you watched any of my earlier videos, you know that I go to my local hobby shop all the time. And I was in there and I found this Extreme Sheen by DecoArt that is amethyst. Now I've used this on some of my previous models, but it was a different color. And this stuff's pretty thick. You have to thin it down really thin, but you have to also watch it because it is thin and it will run on you. So you have to do it in several coats. But when you get done, it looks really good and it does have a shine to it. Now after the amethyst dried, it still didn't have the sparkle and shine like I wanted it. So I went back to my hobby shop and I found this stuff that's made by Krylon. It's called Glitter Blast. Now this stuff is pretty much glitter in a bottle and it sprays out like you've had to pressure wash the thing. So you have to hold it real far away from the can or it will run all over the place. But once you spray this on, man, this stuff is awesome. If you want a different look to your models, this is the way to do it. And then when you get it done, you spray a top coat on it because like all glitter will come off and just get all over every place. But with a clear coat, it stays on and looks fantastic. Now you can see the sparkle that are on these pants after you spray the Glitter Blast. Doesn't it look awesome? Her shoes and her gloves are a different color. They in the pictures they wasn't shiny like her pants. So I just used a royal purple from Vallejo and painted both her shoes. And for the sake of the video, I only painted one shoe that I showed just because I didn't want my video to be any longer than it had to be. But I ended up painting both the shoes with this purple and it come out pretty good. I ended up taking that same purple and going over some of the creases that she had in her pants and her torso, the line down her legs and some of the folds that are in her pants and her clothes. I just took this purple and just hit the tops of them. I meant to record this, but apparently when I went to edit this video, I found out that I didn't record this video. So I'm just going to have to tell you that I did that and you're just going to have to trust me on it. Now before you spray the glitter on anything, you want to make sure you tape everything off that you don't want glitter on. Because when you paint over the glitter, it makes a rough texture, kind of like it's had a bed liner sprayed on it for your car. So just tape everything up and it will come out nice and smooth. Moving on to her belt. Her belt had to be yellow and gold. So because of the purple, I had to paint everything white just so that the yellow would come through. And through the power of editing, I skipped to the end because I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long. And now it's time to move on to adding some of the color to the belt. Now I took the gold from my liquid gold. I didn't say this earlier, but these pens come in a box set. And it had a marker in it that had a really giant tip in it. And you really couldn't use it for anything. So I cut it open and poured the contents into a bottle so I can now paint it on with a brush. which makes it a lot better for purposes like this. Now this stuff is really shiny, and you have to be careful with it because it takes a pretty good while to dry. The box says it takes 24 hours, but it don't hardly take that long, but it does take a while. And then you can move on to painting the satchels or the pouches or whatever they are. You want to paint them with a transparent yellow to make them really pop. And then after you get that done, I moved on to painting the black in the belt on the cymbal. And then after that, you can call this part done. And while I got the transparent yellow out, I went ahead and painted the bat symbol on her chest. I painted it off-white when I painted the belt, and then I come back with the transparent yellow and painted it as well. Moving on to her head, which is the only skin that she has. You want to start off by putting a white zenithal highlight. I chose to use a white ink to do this with. You want to spray it from the top down, like where the light source would hit. And then after you get that sprayed, you want to spray down a pink. Any old pink will do, but you spray it from the top down like you did your zenithal highlight. And then you go underneath into shadows with a transparent red, spraying it from the bottom up to give a little bit of shadow to her skin. Then I grabbed some flat flesh and sprayed it from the top down like you did your zenithal. But you don't want to cover up all your pink and red. And then of course you've got you want to take your orcish dermis and spray it from the bottom as well, kind of like you did your red transparent, to give a little color back to the skin tone. And then after that, you take a basic skin and you spray it from the top down, kind of like you did the rest of them, but make sure you leave some of your orcish dermis. And then after you do that, you come back with a sunny skin and just spray some of the highlights, like her cheekbones or top of her nose, just the highlights where the highest part of the light would hit. And then you want to come back with a transparent yellow. Now you water this stuff down like really super good, like 95% water and 5% yellow. And you want to spray that on the entire thing just to give a little bit of the yellowish tint back to the skin tone to really make it shine and look good. And then after you get that done, you spray your good coat of clear on it. That way if you mess up later, you won't be sad. Now the top of her mask had to be purple, so I had to mask all the face off and everything else. And then I sprayed some black over it just to get rid of the skin tone that was overspray from the skin. And then after you do that, you put some of that same purple that you put on the gloves on the top of the helmet, the hat or helmet or whatever you want to call it. You put it on the top. And then I took some Citadel Blood Angels Red and painted her hair. And I left the highlights from the skin tone just to give it a little different look. And then that shaded on the back side of her head. And then I took a black and I painted her mask and her ears. Because every good superhero needs a mask. And without a mask, the identity is known to everybody. So she's got to have a mask. So on her face, she had some giant eyelashes. So I took the same black that I painted her mask with and painted her eyelashes as well. Moving on to the eyes, which can be a daunting task, but all you need to do is just take your time and make things look right. I started off by putting a Magus Purple from Citadel in her eyes, just to give it just a little bit different look to the bottom of her eyelid, make it look more realistic. Then you want to come back in with a white. Now I used a highlight skin from the Nocturnal series of Vallejo, and because you don't want to use a solid white or a pure white because your eyes are not white. So your off color white makes it look a lot better. Then I come in with a blue, a dark blue, and put a round ball on into my paintbrush and just put it in her eyes. And you want to make sure these are looking in the right direction. If not, it will just gonna look weird. So you want to just take your time and make this look right. And then after you get that done, you want to take a lighter shade of blue. It doesn't really matter what color shade of blue, just a lighter color than that one. And you want to go on the inside of your dark blue and you want to leave a little ring of dark blue on the outside just to make it look like the center of your eye. And then after you get that, you come back with the black. I used the same black that I used on her mask to put her pupil right in the center of those blue dots. And then when you get that done, you come in with a specular highlight of pure white on the sides. Now my camera just decided it didn't want to work, and I didn't record me doing the lipstick and putting the gloss in her eyes. But after you get all that done, you can call this model done. I would like to say a massive thank you to all of my subscribers and to the ones who have watched this video, part 1 or part 2, or maybe even both. And I would like to say thank you to MCM3D for the model for this video. I hope you've got a little bit of something useful out of it for your next model. Don't forget to like and share and leave a little comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, then you can do that right now, free of charge. And before we go, always remember to be kind and treat people the way you want to be treated. Until the next time, y'all come back now, you hear?